Oh, shit. I've never met such a bitch drifting in my fucking life. You guys, real. If it was a close battle, I wouldn't be arguing this, but I buried you motherfuckers in the ground, bro. You guys got fucking smoked. Your lead run was unchaseable. You dropped the tire, bust a wheelie, blast a bumper off at me. My hood's flopping. You got a problem with it? Man, I've never met so many fucking pussies in my life.
What happened between Daniel Stuckey and Chelsea Denofa?
Yeah, so Stuckey's team really went deep and protested on the letter of the rule that basically says anything latchable that pops up or comes off during a run is considered incomplete. Chelsea's hood essentially had 3 of the 4 pins in it when he went out on track, and it was starting to lift up. This is the chase run of Denofa, but on the lead run, Denofa was out there and at angle to a point where Stuckey said that it distracted him and he was not able to perform at the highest level.
You must be sleeping under a rock or something. You don't understand what's happening here.
2 driver stewards. Those driver stewards need to come into agreement on what the application of the rule should be, and essentially they can decide any outcome to move forward on. So what's going to happen is we are going to have 1 run in the books, and it will be the second run that we will rerun again. Now, obviously, I'm sure Denofa was not happy about this.
And I'm ready to fight you guys whenever you'd like. So if you want to throw down, I'm fucking ready.
So we are running the second half of this battle in the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32.
Round 2, fight.
All right, here we go. So coming down to the start chicane, here comes Chelsea Denofa, that Penzo RTR Spec 5 FD initiating into that first outside zone. There goes Chelsea Denofa, getting all the way out to the course, actually knocking over that outside zone indicator. There goes Daniel Stuckey into the wall. Here we go. Stuckey gets lost. He hits the wall. The frustration sets in for Daniel Stuckey. Chelsea Denofa into that last and final outside zone. He's flirting with that wall. And I got to assume that's all she wrote with an incomplete there for Daniel Stuckey.
Finish him.
You know what? Sometimes when you're a bitch, you get what you deserve. And that's just what happened. Sorry, not sorry. Pack your shit in the fucking trailer. Fuck you guys.
Yo, what's shaking? This is Lex. I'm still sitting over here on injured reserve on the sideline, but I wanted to tap in and let's talk a little bit about the Chelsea Denofa Formula D situation. Do y'all understand a little bit about what went on? I'm going to tell you like this. That's Formula D's fault. Because look at it this way. Yeah, dude is chick as shit for trying to make that call. And 2, Denofa is tough to be seen like that in the public and not look like a clown, for lack of words, right? When you respond or react that way, it's kind of whack in my book. It's funny on the internet, no lie. I laughed all the way up till a nigga said he was offering them niggas hands.
And I'm ready to fight you guys whenever you'd like. So if you want to throw down, I'm fucking ready. Because you guys are a bunch of fucking pussies.
For one, you're calling them hella bitches, hella pussies. Where I'm from, that would get your shit cleaned up right then and there. And then offer them hands. If there was anybody in that area that was a stepper, they should have stepped right then and there. Like, if there should have been at least a, hey, who the fuck is you talking to, nigga? You know what I mean? At bare minimum. I've seen people get really fucked up for far less than that. Me personally, I'd have been like, man, holla at us inside the trailer, man. Quit causing a scene in my pits. And we would have closed the door behind that nigga and knocked everything off the shelves with blood. That's just how that's supposed to go. When somebody really runs your manhood like that, I don't care if he's right or wrong. You got to run his shit. Back to who is actually at fault is Formula D. So that rule is simply for doors, trunks, and hoods. It's a safety thing, right? You see when Hurt's hood flew off his car, how high that went? What if that flew into the crowd? Liability thing, right? I personally have had my hoods come up in a way that was really freaky. I added new hood pins to the FC solely because when I come up over the hill of Sonoma going like 50, 60 miles an hour, the hood gets a little bit of a pull. And For one, to me, it looked ugly in photo, so I added more hood pins. These hoods are like really thin, right? Especially on a pro car like that. It's literally just a skin most of the time. So they do flex. So to call that, like literally get that technicality, is chicken shit on Stooky's part. That's not, that is unsportsmanlike, if I'm gonna be honest. Nothing caused that man to not perform at his best abilities. He got his shit ran. Mastermind cleverness for whoever pulled that up and wanted to use that as a second chance to go. Bruh, look, I say like this. I understand you're self-funded and all this and that, but when you got beat, you're beat, blood. That doesn't constitute for you to come in and try to bend a rule or do a loophole to go back in and what you gonna do? Win? Cap? You saw what happened?
Out to the course, actually knocking over that outside zone indicator. There goes Daniel Stookie into the wall, and here goes Chelsea Denofa as Stookie gets lost. He hits the wall. The frustration sets in for Daniel Stookie.
So you made that protest just to go do that. That's where you get bad blood from. Was that worth it? One, you were not in championship contention. You're not on a championship run. I could see that happening if you're down to the last 2 rounds and you really need every point. Every single point that you can get, that kind of thing, we could understand that as competitors. But to do that shit just out of the top 32 and you ain't in championship contention for that, you full of shit. That's unsportsmanlike, big dog. That's not how it vibes. Now, on Denofa's part, hell yeah, he's cool to feel like that. I don't have no problem with him feeling like that. What is the problem is I personally would keep that around my homies. In my RTR crew, in our pits, in our tents, in our trailer. You'd be all kind of bitch ass niggas and whatever else and suckers and this, that, and I don't fuck with you type shits, but never in public because I don't have to explain myself to my homies. You doing that, you a op, you a bitch ass nigga for doing that. We can all agree on that. I don't have to explain myself to the homies. But when you go over there and you do that in front of all of these Formula D fans, cameras in your face, you know where it's going. I understand you feel like you're going to stand on business, but you know how the internet's going to move around. There's been a lot of times that I've seen and been a part of that luckily people weren't too quick on the cameras. Luckily, we were smashing on cats in a time that didn't have a lot of fans in that area because it was a practice day or something. A lot of luckilies in these involvements, but he knew how that was going down, how it was going to look. When fans or fans that aren't of yours, or even sponsors, when you got to start explaining there, that gets into shaky ground. So it's a wobbler when you're doing shit like that. Yeah, stand on business, be about it, man shit, die on the hill that you feel like dying on. It's all about your morals and how you want to get down. But when you're representing a brand and you're supposed to be a consummate professional and there are rules in place for sportsmanlike conduct, that's not the vibe.
Looks like Chelsea made a post about 50 minutes ago
about that,
saying exactly what I said he should have handled the business like in private.
yeah.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what he should have done in the first place and exactly what I was saying. I literally had to get to this because I personally think that maybe the series or sponsors got to him, told him to put out a statement about the passion. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my group was involved in this situation and the series was forced to step in. First, they tried to brush it off, but then when they saw some other things, then they were forced to step in. So that's all that I think that happened. But anyway, back to this breakdown.
The driver's steward assessed it, said, okay, it's not an incomplete. It did disrupt Daniel Stookie, so we will deem it a rerun. So here we go, the second run.
And because of today's day and age, it goes to the internet faster than it even the video gets processed. So throughout the whole time now, Stookie, now you're just the butt of constant memes.
Smells like bitch in here.
And media takes every photo, and now even media is throwing out all the photos of of you in the background blown up against a wall from your doing, and Denofa out looking like a hero. You know what I'm saying? You don't get seen in the best light because of that, especially when you're going up against a more or less crowd favorite versus yourself. How do you get out of that area, right? You're in a weird area with that. You gotta perform. You gotta drive. You gotta have stellar performances. You can get that weak shit off you, but you gotta put the work in and show the driving. But again, I gotta say it, dude. I gotta say it because I just wouldn't be me. I don't give a damn right or wrong. If you in the pits and one dude run down on y'all barking on you like that, calling you hella bitches and pussies, talking to your whole squad like all y'all pussies and all that wild shit, man, Blood would have to see me about something. We stopped our vehicle and ran down on the cat for giving us the middle finger. That's just how it is. You got to see what the temperature's like. Dude gave us the middle finger. We stopped the vehicle, ran down on Blood like, you got a problem? Like, in his face, you got a fucking problem, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's shaking? What's up with what's up with the energy that you giving? Like, let's do something if you want to do something about it, but if you don't want to do about it, boy, you better keep to yourself. Bro, you got to see about it. Win, lose, or draw. You just got to see about it. That's just how this shit goes, man. This is man business, because that shit right there got really weird, man. That's really fucking weird, yo. And now you all over the internet just being trolled. Fools making hella trolls about y'all. That shit crazy. So you got to pick your battles. You got to pick your battles, shit like that. So Formula D definitely needs to maybe rewrite the rules. And how do they rewrite that rule? You know, a margin of movement per panel. Because that little bit of flapping that he did, that his hood did, they even said that they just missed one hood pin, and the guys at the line, they tried to address it right then and there. Now you got that technicality, and you got that kind of situation going on in that way. So the shit just a little whack, but please, y'all gotta understand, that's not the way sportsmanship is supposed to go on both sides. You don't make no petty ass protest against your fellow competitor like that. Denofa's good enough that he could run up to you talking shit and still have enough talent beside any emotion to get in that driver's seat and give you a problem. So you got to really be careful on how you're choosing your battles. But running down on me with an e-bike, hella silent and eco-friendly, and then running your mouth that loudly, that has to be addressed. So
Pack your shit in the fucking trailer. Fuck you guys. You know what? Sometimes when you're a bitch, you get what you deserve. And that's just what happened. Sorry, not sorry.
This I find outrageously funny. I didn't even really watch Formula D. I was too busy doing some other shit. But this came across the whole timeline Saturday. So I at least went and watched a few runs. I watched this incident, and then I watched LZ. I watched from top 4 on. And bravo to LZ. Absolute hater of leads, and he had some comfortability with that track because he's been driving there for at least the last couple of times he's been really driving competitively. So with the LZ World Tour and everything, so that was cool. Everything fell in his order, and it worked out great. But LZ's teammate and his commotion has been the most talked about thing, when honestly that's unfair, because LZ just did something that is dope, right? And for everybody that talks shit to him, he went through Chelsea, he went through James Dean, he went through solid, like how we used to look at it when you got a bracket, you'd be like, damn, I got a good bracket or I got a bad bracket. Good bracket, kind of easy pushovers, you really get into the business in the top 4, right? Hard bracket, bad bracket is you got all the killers and you got to put finals performance down from the top 32 into the finals, right? That's where you know that you've arrived in your driver position when you go through killers. Think about that. He had Denofa, James Dean, and then he ran Olsen. It just worked for him this event, but people should be applauding that versus applauding Chelsea Denofa running up and punking the whole MSPEK performance. That's crazy. But we gonna sign out on that, yo. That's absolutely funny. I actually think the racing needs more of that. Formula D does. Because like I said, I've seen quite a lot of shit in the pits, and I know there's things like this that happen quite a bit, quite often. And these are the kind of things that entertain the casual watchers. A lot of this shit is boring now. Same tracks, same players, same kind of bullshit going on. It gets boring to watch now. This spices it up, so that's pretty dope. But other than that, man, I'm going to check y'all out. I'm going to finish healing up, and I'm going to be back on this bike at Laguna Seca very shortly. I'll holla.
Side zone indicator. There goes Daniel Stuckey into the wall, and here goes Chelsea Denofa as Stuckey gets lost.
Pack your shit in the fucking trailer.